but I give you enough game so you can take it and apply it in your life. Here we go, live streaming. All right. All righty. I am loving this. All right, my friends, we are here today on day number 7 of 10. Day number 7 of 10. We are almost wrapping this challenge up, and it is a real challenge because not only that it's going to make your money game better, it's also going to challenge you if you're not an early riser. We kick off 5 a.m. every single day, Pacific Standard. And I'm telling you, Samara Beth have been waking up early for me, even though sometimes she falls asleep on her phone. But show up in order to level up. Show up in order to level up, because you are the only one that's coming to save you. Nobody else is coming to save you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to lift you up, but you have to do the rest. My name is Kareen Mills with a heart on my photo. Shout out to my mama, Rose. The heart on my photo is Rose's heart, my mama. She has done so much in her lifetime to literally just up-level my game, sacrifice some parts of her life to up-level my game, right? And every time I speak live, even if I just have my profile photo and you see her heart, everything is a tribute to her. She becomes, and she is the center of my brand. She is the heart. She's the logo of my brand, Multiply. In fact, when we print Multiply, and we have this banner for my live events, right? And when we print Multiply, the letter U is the heart logo when we print it. So that being said, welcome to day number 7. Chef Andy, I see you on LinkedIn. Thanks for being here, Chef. I'm all over YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, because you got to be omnipresent. If you have an assignment and you're clear with your assignment, you have to multiply it into different platforms. I help you make peace with your money. Money can be so chaotic. It could be so messy, right? But there is actually a way to make peace with it through financial education and literacy. Inside my global platform, Multiply, if you're not in my platform and if you're not in the challenge, that's okay. We want you to come in. Go to the link everywhere in my social media and you'll see the challenge is still open for registration. It's a free challenge. Yes, you can upgrade to VIP because what we do, the first hour, we give all the game away. Okay. 90 minutes after that, in fact, yesterday we went so over. We had so much fun yesterday with the VIP. There's actually almost 100 VIPs. And here's the deal. Only about 10% shows up. It's a real number, and that's what real life is. 10% of the people that you serve will execute on the things that you teach them. The other 90%, unfortunately, number one, they don't even show up. Hopefully they watch the replay, right? Or they make time to watch the replay. In fact, VIPs, they get lifetime access to all of the replays behind the scene, the backstage, where I coach you towards your money questions. Yesterday, I even showed them how you look for flights so you could do all of that and multiply your money. There's so much things that happens behind the scene after we turn this off at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard, right? I got to go serve my VIP. So we also record that. And sometimes, because I'm not perfect, but when you have a community of people, you get close to perfection because you can have it all. You just cannot do it alone. You can have it all. You just cannot do it alone. They remind me to click the record button. So I want to thank you, VIP, for doing that, because community is all about everybody One person cannot build a community. Doesn't work. It is a community of people that's going to be able to create a village, right? To create a village to make sure that the foundation of the community is strong. Our community multiplies mission is to help you create matrix-like awareness around your money game so you can become unstoppable. Unstoppable. And when you hear the word money, because money is my jam, when you hear the word money, it's not just about the dollars and cents. And if you are a VIP, you know it goes way deeper and it goes way back. It's not just the surface, right? So we help you create this matrix-like awareness around your money game. I don't care what level you are. It doesn't matter. Come join the challenge. And if you have a lot of questions as I'm going through this first hour of day number 7, write it down, right? Write it down so you can ask it. In fact, Samara Beth was, hang on just a second. I'm managing another, oh shoot. Sorry, Samara, I put you in the audience. Come back, come back, come back. In fact, Samara had a question and she probably didn't want to forget about it. So she shoot it over to me, right? And that's our mission, is to help you create matrix-like awareness around your money game so you can become unstoppable. Here are the 3 pillars of multiply. Number 1, money. Is that a surprise to you? No, because money is my jam. Why is money your jam, Kareen? Well, you'll hear why. Money is the first pillar of multiply. Multiply your money. And here's why. Because of the second and the third pillar. The second pillar is time. Time. I said something the other day where we really only have 16 hours in our day. Guard your time. Because you have to sleep at a standard level. Now, some of you may not sleep as much as 8 hours. Some of you might be like me who only sleep 7 hours. And I also used to train my body to only sleep for 5 hours. And I would take 1 nap in the morning and 1 nap in the afternoon, 20 minutes tops. You can design your time, right? But at the end of the day, we only have 24 hours total. And then we sleep with standard 8 hours. That's obviously the suggestion, right? In the healthcare world, is a suggestion of 8 hours. It's up to you how you're going to slice that, because nobody can force you to do that. But when you do the math, 24 less than 8, you're left with 16 hours to execute on your dreams. And if you, if you only have, I just turned 44, mortality rate, I can be morbid, right? Because I spent 12 years in insurance. Mortality table says a female in America lives to be 79.9. Let's just say 80. And less 44, you're looking at 36 left. 36 times 16 hour in a day. I mean, the urgency that I have. That's why I guard my time. The urgency that I have is crazy, crazy. So time is of the essence. Multiply your time by hiring other people to do the things that you need to do to accomplish things. But that requires number 1, which is money. Number 3 is impact. You have to have the ability to multiply your streams of impact. Only because if you are a kind, good, amazing person, your money really only magnifies that. If you're already an a-hole, a bad person, a nasty person, money magnifies that. It just makes you more of who you already are. And multiple streams of impact is where it's at, but it needs funding. It needs funding. That's why the pillars has to be in this order, because we cannot shuffle it. If we shuffle it, it's out of whack and it wastes a lot of time. Do you see? And I repeat this every single day because we have so much money blocks in our mind. In fact, I just release around every Tuesday, I release a money affirmation of the week. Okay. And the money affirmation of this week is, let me look at my social. Let me just see what my money affirmation of the week is this week. I post it all over my social anyways. Money affirmation of the week. I move beyond past money limiting beliefs into financial freedom today and every day of my life. And I post a new affirmation every week. So make sure if you're not following me, follow me on all platforms. I'm there everywhere. It's always at Kareen Mills. Again, the money affirmation of the week is I move past, or I move beyond past money limiting beliefs, because it's in the past. Move beyond it. Quit allowing it to anchor you. Okay. Into financial freedom. And that's what I call peace with your money. Because when you have freedom and you're no longer chasing the money, you're the one being chased by money. And by the way, if you chase money, what happens? It runs away from you. It's never enough. Do you ever get the feeling of, oh my gosh, money is never enough? It's never enough money. That's because you keep chasing it, right? So we have to make peace with our money. And a lot of them really has to do with, if you don't have peace with your money, it's overwhelming. There's something, you're actually not broke. You just have a broken money system. And I always dislike the fact when people attack your character, right? When people, or quote unquote influencer, call themselves that, whatever they're teaching online, right? And they start attacking the human and the human behavior, like the human that is behind all of that. But it's just the money system that's broken. You're not broke. The money system is broke. So if we know that the money system is broke, it's just a system. Every system can be redesigned. Every system can be, avoided, whatever that bad system is. Every system can be refined. And that's what I'm here to help, is to help people refine those systems. So eventually you can really see the big picture when it comes to money. Money, what happens is when you feel like you're so overwhelmed around money, that means you're not organized around money. Now, if you make a lot of money and you're just spending it without control and just not really logging it, okay? If you make a lot of money, that's how people get in trouble, because you're not paying attention to the details. And it's easy to actually do that when you have a lot of money coming in. And it's crazy because sometimes when it's almost a curse, right? It's almost a curse because you have a lot of money coming in, which is a blessing. But if you don't pay attention to it, it can also be a curse, because it's not, how do I say this? It's like, where did all my money go? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to it? And if you start asking yourself that, that means you don't have a really good money system, because you don't have awareness where it went. So if we know that the system just needs tweaking and refining, we know what to do. We just need to commit to reviewing certain things so that we don't have to ask that crazy question, where'd all my money go? It's kind of like, I don't know if you've been a young buck back in the days where you didn't listen to your parents, because I rarely listen to I'm blessed that my kids listen to me. But personally, I rarely listen to my folks, right? And I think the other component of that too is because they weren't really like a good model. And so it's like, why should I listen to you? So now I have the obligation to reverse that for my kids. So I have to be a good model, because if I didn't listen because I had bad models, I have to change that and reverse it. I have to, and I'm, obviously I keep telling you guys this every day. You don't have to be perfect, right? But you do have to show and model your kids, because they don't do what you tell them. Okay, I didn't do what my parents told me, because all I thought was like, why would I do that? You're not doing that. So you show them. They do what you show them. You see, so if you're not good with your money, you're showing that to them. If you're always fighting about money, you're showing that to them. They're always watching you. Remember that. And by them watching you, okay, since we are here talking, yesterday it was introduction to marriage and money. Today is don't wing the money part on your marriage. And your kids, if you have any, like myself, they become part of that. It's a unit. Remember, we talked about marriage is a union of two people. I've done this for so many times that I could literally memorize my slides. It's a union of two people in a partnership. So understand that marriage is not just a wedding. Marriage is a union, meaning you become one of two people, right? In a partnership who shares profits and liabilities, just like you would a business. It's a business of marriage. I call it a business of marriage. So make sure that you make a commitment with those words, because those words should matter to you if you love each other, right? If you honor each other, well, we get married because we fell in love with each other. We got to know each other. You revisit that past of why did you start this relationship? Well, there's got to be a lot of love down there somewhere. And when you get in the middle of the marriage, that's the part where I talked about yesterday. We never address the middle. We just address the beginning. And if all we do is address the beginning, which is the big wedding, the whatever ceremony you do, my ceremony is different from yours, depending on our belief systems. So we address those details. Not only we address those details, we spend so much money to those details. We hire coordinators to do it, makeup artists, hair and makeup, all that stuff, venue. But we don't pay attention to the middle, which is, okay, how are we going to do this money thing in our marriage? Right? It's a union of two people in a relationship called a partnership. So you can have a common goal or a common target. So no matter who makes the most money, there's only one target. If you don't have one target for your family, then you're going into different directions. That's not good. It's not good to not have a common target, right? Because you're not doing the things that you need to do to get there. It's just like a corporation. So for the people that have either a corporation or work, it's just like that. Every single person in your team contributes into a common theme, and every corporation have a vision and a mission, especially the larger ones, like the value stocks. You're talking about the blue chip stocks like Costco, trying to think of the big ones. You've got in like the Dow 30. You've got Microsoft, you've got the like Pepsi Cola, Toyota, all of those people have a mission and a vision, one target, one mission, one vision. And every member of their team needs to understand that there is such a mission and a vision, just like you would in your marriage. So if one member of the team do not understand the target, it's whacked. It's going to go whacked. Someone's going to go just, do all the things that is not aligned with the target. Someone's going to say, oh, I make the most money in the household. The salary differences is going to show up. It's kind of mean to tell your loved one that you're the boss. Both of you should be running the household as a partner in a union. Nobody should be the boss. Both of you should be the boss of all of that. You know how there's the boss called CEO? And then there's also a boss called CFO, right? And the CEO and the CFO of corporations, they don't go out and just, unless there's embezzlement, right? We've seen that happen, but on a normal operation, they don't go out and squander the money of the corporation because you won't get to the same target. It's the same thing with money. You know, I was teaching yesterday a vision workshop in one of the local businesses here, and their top 200 salons in all of the nation. Amazing team, about 20 people, mostly actually all women except her husband. And the number one thing that I always talk about in these workshops is, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Like the worst thing. Write it down. You don't have to share it. Just write it down on your notebook. The worst thing ever. If you don't have the worst thing, think about your childhood, because there were some young bucks over there. And sometimes, you know, when you haven't lived enough life or taken enough risk in your life, you've not had any of those. Okay. So you can't force that to put it on something, right? Think about your childhood. So I said, for those of you that are younger, think about your childhood watching your parents or just your environment, and find out what's the worst thing you've watched or what was shown to you, you know? So they all wrote it down. I gave them a moment and space in time to write it down. And then I also, when I started, I said, I'm going to give you guys a fair warning. I'm going to need about 2 or 3 volunteers so that I could hot seat coach you. And that way, the other people in the room, they can watch how the framework works, and they could take it home, and in the quiet of the morning or the evening, they can do this framework on their own. Okay. So I had three volunteers. So I actually had 3 volunteers. I was surprised because, you know, I was new to them. I've not met most of these women except the owner. So I was new to them. And sometimes when there's a new teacher, you know how it is. Nobody opens up. People are closed-minded when there's a new person because you're a stranger danger to them. But I was really surprised. There were 3 volunteers. And I'll talk about the first volunteer. Okay. The first volunteer talked a lot about, you know, she's Korean, adopted into a white family, and she kind of disconnected from that culture that she really was, you know, it's who she is, right? And part of the thing that we talked about is how she has abuse and trauma and all of that around the household, or was shown it. And she started labeling herself that because of these things, I show up as XYZ, and these labels are not nice. Like, she's talking about herself, and it's not nice. But then I asked, how are you applying that to work? Because you wouldn't be here, right? I know you wouldn't be here if you apply those things to work. And she's like, no, I actually love coming here. I am, you know, I'm so involved in the business. I've gone to my boss's office and cried many times, but then I come out, I get coached from her, and I come out and I just own it. Clients love me. I love seeing them coming in with their, you know, feeling down because their hair needs work. And then when they come out, their faces just light up. And those are the things that she described for me. And I said, why can't you take that same thing to your household? Why does your household, okay? Because when you're at work, you're nice to people, okay? But why does your household have to suffer? I thought you love them. And I did just that. I took a pause, long pause. Why do you have to give all of your greatness to people you don't even sleep with? And granted, that's your customers. Treat them like highest paying customers that you have. But treat your family like the highest paying customers that you have. Why can't you do the same thing? I literally did this. Okay, this is you at work. Why can't we move that to home? And she had, guys, remember I told you my drug of choice is when a woman in breakthrough does this thing. I can't even tell you what it looks like. You have to be there to see it. When a woman in breakthrough does this face thing, right? And it goes something like this. Oh, I've never even thought of that. I go, well, that's a skill you have at work, right? It's a transferable skill you could transfer to home. Why are your customers getting the best of you and your family's getting the worst of you? How does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense to me. I thought you love them. I thought you married them. I thought blah, blah, blah. Guys, you didn't know we were going to talk about this, but I like to share my experience because these are exciting things, right? And money is so much deeper than that. Like the breakthrough in her face came through in that one moment. One. You put your clients on a pedestal and then you go home and give the worst to your family. That's unacceptable. We can't do that. You can, I guess you can, but if you want to live a good life, you got to be good to people. And you can't choose who to be good with because good comes from here, right here. See this heart on my chest? That's my mama's heart. It's my mama's heart. This is a tribute to her. Everything is a tribute to her. Comes from here. Rose used to just smile, my mom. When the going got tough, the smile got bigger. When the going got tough, Rose's smile just got bigger, you know? So transfer whatever it is you have skill set wise at work that makes you shine in your profession into the business of marriage. Kareen, why haven't you talked about money? Because these things change everything. Money touches everything and it touches everything you love. I know it's like, oh, but it's not all about money. True. I 100,000% agree. But based on what I just told you, it touches everything you love. It's unfortunate that sometimes we're this amazing human being at work, right? We get all these accolades, reward, trophy, but we suck at home. We can't have that. We need to change that. We need to make the commitment to change that. And that was my first hot seat coaching yesterday. And then, of course, once you clear that out, your vision becomes clear. Once you clear that out, your vision becomes clear. And you know what else she said? My fiance is reluctant to marry me because of that. Because if I'm already like that, which by the way, such a smart man and a very observant man, right? And she's very self-aware of it. She said, we are engaged and we've been engaged for a bit, but he's really reluctant to get into this union of two people in a relationship sharing profits and liabilities, AKA marriage, because of those trauma that shows up in a relationship. Can you believe that? So I asked her, does he deserve for you to treat him like your best customer in the salon? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So it's crazy. But that was the first one. And once you clear those gunk out, because they are freaking gunk, your legacy is going to be like, you remove all the blocks, and your view to your legacy starts changing, because the view only change if your views in here change. If you're in my live, you'll see me pointing at my temple in my head. If your view in here changes, your environment change. The view with what you see through your eyes change. It takes time though, and it takes a massive amount of commitment. So don't wing, and this is the title of our chat today, don't wing the money part in your marriage. Make a commitment into your marriage, especially around money, especially around the money part. And if you are not married yet, at least you know now that that's going to be part of your priority when you find the one. Or if you already have the one and you've not heard this before, it's going to be a priority for you. I haven't even continued to introduce myself, and I've already dove deep into this whole thing because this was fresh in my mind since it just happened yesterday. And you can multiply your impact like that, because you're not only impacting your workplace where you give them your best, you're also impacting home where you give them your best too, hopefully. Because if you give them your worst, you're not going to be 1,000% at work. Because what we know about home is if things aren't straight up at home, it's going to affect your performance at work. It's just very related to each other, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. The 3 stages of multiply that's proprietary is money keeping. You got to get good at money keeping, because that's called closing the back door. You have your back door, or you have your front door open where you make a lot of money, or whatever cash inflow you have, whether it's a lot or little, and you keep that front door open. But you got to close the back door, and the back door is where the money keeping part. This is actually the hardest part of this whole stages. There's 3 stages. The money keeping part, because if you've never done it before and you've never tracked your expenses before, remember, you have to run it like a business. You can't run it like anything else. The business of marriage has to be ran like a business. Businesses, in fact, corporations that I just spit out today and mentioned, they have quarterly earnings reporting. You don't believe me? It's about to happen July and August. After each quarter, they have to report to their shareholders what happened. Did they make money? Did they not make money? Did they lose money? What do we need to do to make money this time? It's how you do your marriage and your money and marriage situation, and how you operate your household. You need to run it like a profitable business. You need to have details of what's coming out of this business. And that's where the money keeping part, because the bottom line needs to be big, because your top line might be great. Your top line in your household, you may be making, I don't know, 6 figures, multiple millions. I don't know, depending on who I'm talking to, right? You might have that much, but your money keeping and tracking, if it sucks, it's going to just bleed out. The money keeping and tracking, the back door, if you don't have it shut, it's going to be like a water container that has a leak on it. You got to fix the leak. That's how you feel like, oh, where did all my money go? I make so much money. And by the way, don't forget Uncle Sam. Don't forget Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam always gets a bite of the apple. And it's very interesting to me how Mr. Steve Jobs, one of the biggest legends of our time, right? We all know who he is. His logo, the apple with a bite, I think he has, he wanted to remind us that doesn't matter how rich you are, Uncle Sam always gets a bite of the apple, and the apple is never whole when it gets to you. So, especially when you're a high income earners, shout out to my high income earners in the room or in the live broadcast. If you're a high income earner, high income equals high tax liability, unless you're like me, who was a tax strategist. But here's the problem. Most people will not invest in a tax strategist because it costs money. Did you see how I said that? Most people will not invest. The word invest means you expect a return on your investment. And you know why most people will not invest? And I changed that word to cost, because it costs money. But what if, let's just say, since this is an easy number, you make top line, 7 figures. Say you make $1 million a year. Okay. And then you have expenses, like if you're a business, you have marketing, you have softwares, you have an email system, you have all kinds of expenses, insurance, licenses, whatever. And then those are your line items. Like, why don't we do that at home? Why can't we keep track of each line item at home? It blows my mind how if we just transfer everything from a business operation into our household operation, it runs like a well-oiled machine. And it avoids a lot of marriage problem. It really does. Shout out to all my married people out there. You know what I'm talking about. You know? So when you look at, say you make $1 million a year and you have, I don't know, expenses along the way, right? And your bottom line is 100,000. It's not a good number when your top line is $1 million. That means your expenses is 90% of your top line, right? So if you run a household and you're always chasing your money because it's never enough, that means you don't have a good money system. It's just as simple as that. That means you're not doing your earnings report with each other, just like a large corporation. Every quarter, they culminate, right, and talk about the earnings report. Why can't we do that in a marriage? I mean, it's easier said than done, I promise you, but it's easy. It's so simple that all you do is take that from a business and install it in your marriage. It's really just a system that you know how businesses work, right? Install it into your marriage. Shout out to Auntie Yvonne, the LinkedIn queen is here. Shout out to all my LinkedIn people. Yes. High income earners doesn't mean you take home a lot. You just have a big top line. And remember I told you the Apple logo always have a bite? That's Steve Jobs reminding you that Uncle Sam always gets his bite. And if you don't know that, and you operate as if you're making $1 million, even though you have expenses on the bottom, and then you end up taking home, if you live a lifestyle like $1 million, you're already in trouble before I even look at the details. It's funny because my Airbnb spaces I was texting with my cleaning lady the other day. And I usually like to come to the spaces when she's there so I can have a conversation. I love conversations. You know, I check in with her. Her husband's also a handy man. And whenever we have a need, it's like a husband and wife cleaning and handyman. And by the way, if you are looking to make more money out there, you got to get scrappy. I don't have a problem cleaning my own Airbnb. You got to get scrappy. Remember, I told you there's nobody's going to come and save you. You're the only one that could save you. But now I don't have to. But I still go there because I want to have a conversation with her. So I was talking to her and also checking in with her, how her husband is, you know, all that stuff. And I didn't even know she's had cancer before and all of that stuff, right? And she asked me, because she hasn't seen me in a while. She asked me where I've been, and you know, she looks for me because she enjoys our conversation. And I said, you know, I've been really busy with all the digital stuff I'm doing. Oh, I didn't know you have a digital business. I said, yeah, you know, it's growing like wildfire. We're really figuring out how to be omnipresent, leveraging technology. So I'm telling her all this. And her husband's a handy person that we can call it a drop of the hat, and they'll do same day service. Especially, you need one of those, especially when, you know, showers aren't working or any sorts of things that aren't working and you have a guest inside. You need to make sure that they have, you know, amenities that are properly working. Otherwise, you're going to get a 1-star review. Shout out to all my Airbnb super hosts. I'm a super host, and you're going to get knocked out of the super host status if you don't have all those systems in place. So they do same day, and it's such a great team, right? So if that's you and you're a cleaning person and you don't have anybody in your team to do handyman work or handy woman work, look for one. You're going to be able to build a vertical. Look at, I'm already giving you a game right here, right now to make more money. You're going to be able to build a vertical in your business to have a handyman service because it complements the cleaning side. You already have a book of business. You could sell them again with other things. You already have a list. Do you know that the most important part of any digital business or any business is a database and a list? You already have a database. And most of you run a cleaning business, but you don't run an email software. You don't run a system. You don't take it to another level. Take it to next level. You know, so I was talking to her about that, and I said to her, I have this online and digital business, and it's really taking too much of my time. And I've been getting really, really busy. I also have a multiply virtual assistant company, hiremyvateam.com, hiremyvateam.com, that needs me. So I've been very busy in those things. And she said, oh, what is exactly you do digitally? I said, money is my jam, but it hasn't always been. It jammed me first. That's kind of, you know, when people ask you, what do you do for a living? I don't just tell them what I do. I tell them why I do it. Money is my jam, but it jammed me first. It hasn't always been my jam. And you know what she said? I need you. And I said, oh, why? She said, because I spend my money like I'm a millionaire. I laughed just like that. And she said, no, I'm serious. I need your help. So you might see her in the VIP soon or the club soon. But, you know, those are like meaningful conversations, right? I love meaningful conversations. Like sometimes we go way too fast and we forget to pay attention to people. You know, we thrive on conversations. I personally thrive in conversations. I love conversations. So the bite of the apple, Uncle Sam always gets a bite. So if you make $1 million, and this is where the cleaning story came through. When you make $1 million and you spend like you make $1 million off on the very top, you're already in trouble before I even look at your profit and loss, balance sheet, financial statements, all of that stuff, bank account, because you never get the whole apple. None of us gets the whole apple. Now we can minimize our tax liability by having tax strategies. That's why I said most people will not hire tax strategists because or invest in a tax strategist because it costs money, because people blame the cost. Well, what if you make on the top line $1 million? And let's say instead of your bottom line becoming like, let's say a quarter, let's just say a quarter, you can actually make that bottom line on paper look a lot less, but because of tax strategies that are part of your line item. So you actually get to keep more of your money. Would you pay somebody $5,000, $10,000? I don't know. Depends on your financial profile. If they could save you in taxes, $50K, $100K, $200K, would that be a cost now that you know the math, or would that be an investment now that you know the math? You see, most people never take the time to do the math. They just say it costs money. You have to look at cost and spend and see if it can become an investment. You have to look at that. Now, there are certain things in life, especially in your money and marriage situation, that is just going to be pure cost. There's going to be certain things in life that is just nothing but pure cost. But plenty of things in life, especially when you have a professional on your corner. That's why you can't be afraid to let go of money, because doing it all on your own can be chaotic. And money can get very, especially when you get up there in high income, it can get very complicated. The more money, this is where that song comes from, more money, more problems. But you don't have to be the only one who has to deal with the problem. In fact, my tax strategist, we had a meeting a month ago, or no, 2 months ago, because we have first quarter meeting. And there's two tax seasons in the year. You only know about one when you don't have professionals around you. There's 2 tax seasons in a year. The entire year, you should be tax planning, the tax planning season. And then we all know about April 15th. By golly, we have to file our taxes by April 15th. Now, the more you know about money, the more you know that there's actually an extension opportunity for you, especially when you always owe money in taxes. I am not going to give Uncle Sam the money I owe him sooner. I'm going to file an extension. I'm going to extend the pain. Extend the pain till October 15. Consult with your tax professionals, by the way, because I am not one. Disclaimer. Consult with your tax professional because I am not one. But there are 2 tax seasons, the tax planning season, which is the whole year, and then the tax paying season. And for most of us that owes money every year, we extend the pain to October 15. And extensions are free, by the way. Extensions are free. Most people don't file extensions because they try and do their own taxes. Oh my gosh, don't do your own taxes, please, people. You think professionals cost money? Try doing it yourself. And frankly, the headache that's going to come with that, if you have all kinds of knock from the Uncle Sam, the pain, the money you're losing because now you have to focus on it. You can't focus on the money making activities now. Now you have the money sucking activity. Make peace with your money. It's okay to let it go and pay somebody great at it, like a tax strategist, to keep you out of trouble, to keep you more of your money, to make sure that you have minimized all of your tax liability every year legally. Because we're talking about the IRS tax code that's like over, I don't know, 8,000 pages, give or take. I mean, more power to you if you understand those. I mean, you can't even tax strategists don't even fully understand the tax code. They know a lot, but it also moves. It's a moving target. So if you're like me, money coaching people, that's not my lane of genius. I don't want to know the tax code. I just want to get great at my money making activity because I don't want that problem to show up in the future. And if it shows up in the future, I want someone else to take care of that for me. And I want someone else to get me ready to make sure I win that when it shows up in the future. And I don't have to take time out of my money making activities. You see how all this money thing works? Like it's so intertwined from one area to another, right? It's very intertwined because money touches everything and it touches everything you love. Money touches everything and it touches everything that you love. So we've got about 2 minutes together and I want to talk about, as I'm saying goodbye to you and turning off, oh, now it's only 1 minute, so I better hurry up. I want to talk about this challenge. So I want to give kudos to those of you that are in the challenge and also the VIP who actually shows up in the VIP room, right? And we probably have almost a 2-hour session yesterday, just serving all of the questions to make sure everybody walks away. And then I was also showing them with other things. But if you missed it in your VIP, you'll see all the recording in your portal. You'll get an email when the portal is updated with the new recording. So you'll see all of that because sometimes other people's questions could be your question. So it's always good to see all of those replays. So log into your portal and watch all the replays. This is our 7th day, which means after today, we're going to have 7 recordings in there. The first hour is always free for all in this whole wide world. What's up, world? I go live on 5 different platforms, just the main 5. I can actually go live in 30 different platforms in one Zoom. This is a Zoom. But I'm going and focusing on 5 right now. But I want to say thank you for spending some time and hanging out with me for the last hour. If you have not joined the Make More Now challenge, I know we're going into the 8th day, but you can watch replays all over Facebook. It's actually on my Facebook called Multiply Influence. If there was something today that's just an aha moment to you, go to my Facebook and create a review, not a comment on this video, but an actual review, and let us know what was that aha moment look like. Let us know what that looks like and how did that feel for you. And then I have Leadership to Legacy. If you are still kind of stuck somewhere and you can't unhook yourself from it, you need leadership. You need a lot of leadership. And my Leadership to Legacy is for you if that is you. You have to go to my Instagram, okay? Because I don't have automation everywhere. And automation, and I always used to say, while you can't automate motherhood, you can automate your business. And I am all about automation. So go trigger my robot in my Instagram DMs. I'm at Kareen Mills everywhere you go. It's uniform everywhere. At Kareen Mills, and send me the message, just the one word. Don't add to it. Don't do anything else to it. Please follow instruction. Just message me the word leadership. If you don't know how to spell it, you can Google what the right spelling is. Leadership. Because I'm saying that not because of you, it's because of me. Because there's certain words that I used to not know how to spell. And I used to carry a dictionary around me before Google came. Remember, I came to America at 20 with broken English, and I went from broken English to broke in 4 months. And I always say that in my introduction. And throughout that early stage in my life here, I carried a dictionary because there's certain things I didn't know how to spell. There's certain things I didn't know what it means. So when somebody is talking to me and say a certain word I couldn't understand, I have to go to the bathroom and go look at what that means. And it's guys, it's just been amazing. This challenge has actually been the best challenge because I see you every day and I get to coach you more than once a month in versus the club, ongoing club. If you're not in the club, when you go to the challenge, makemorenow.challenge.com, makemorenow.challenge.com, you will complete the form. It takes you to the VIP upgrade opportunity. And on the bottom of VIP, you'll see the club. You just check the box so you could see me every month in the club. And then I do the same thing as I do in the VIP, but now it's going to be ongoing every month. The thing about one question is it's never just one question. It always leads to another. Somebody has a hot mic. I'm going to mute you really quick. It always leads to more questions. That's the thing about one question, is never just one question. So if you want to tap, because you don't want my money, you want what's in here. If you want to tap what's in here, you're going to need to be a monthly club member. So leadership, DM me the word leadership. And if you're not in the challenge, it's called makemorenowchallenge.com. And you can join the VIP. So when I turn this off, which I'm about to, I can talk to you in private Zoom in the backstage. So have a wonderful day. I'm going to go to my VIP now because yesterday we went way over and I know they have a lot more questions. Going to go serve them. Lisa, I see Lisa, Auntie Yvonne, Linda, and Jay on Clubhouse. Make sure you come and join us. The room is going to end right now. Let me turn off my live broadcast.